Alright, hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about Supergirl. Okay? So this comes from Yahoo Entertainment, and it's a Supergirl official box office opening has been confirmed, and it's lower than Joker 2. There's no denying that Supergirl is currently flopping at the box office, but following yesterday's initial results, the DCU movie's opening weekend take has been confirmed, and it's actually doing worse than we first thought. On Monday, June 29th, many outlets reported that Supergirl has earned $38 million in the US over opening weekend. However, now it looks like the superhero film only scraped $37.1 million according to Box Office Mojo. That means that Millie Alcock's first outing as Kara Zor-El is not only doing worse than Sony's Spider-Man spin-off Morbius, which is widely known as one of the worst superhero movies ever, but also DC's Joker 2. The sequel opened to $37.6 million and scored a measly 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then it says it is not clear why Supergirl is flopping so hard. Now let me talk about that for a minute. The reason why Supergirl is flopping so hard is because James Gunn doesn't let superheroes be super. He has a problem with letting superheroes be super. Remember, James Gunn thinks that superheroes are stupid. So, and it was the same thing with Superman last year. It was the same thing with Superman last year. He was beat down the entire time. He was an emotional mess. Remember, you had that scene at the beginning of the movie where Lois Lane is pretending to interview, where Lois Lane is pretending to interview Superman, and he just automatically, starts screaming at her just because he doesn't like what she's saying. That is not something that Superman would do. That is not who Superman is. Superman would not lose his head like that. And, Crypto had to come and save him, several times, throughout the film. James Gunn doesn't let superheroes be super. When was the last time we got a superhero movie like Wonder Woman? The No Man's Land scene where Steve Trevor is trying to tell Wonder Woman, he's like, look, we can't save everybody. It's a war. And Wonder Woman goes out on that battlefield and we get to see her be Wonder Woman. In Superman Man of Steel, we got to see Superman be Superman even before he put the costume on. He didn't, in Man of Steel, he was already starting to do Superman things, even though he didn't even get the costume until like halfway through the movie. So, so there are reports out there right now that James Gunn will be fired. A lot of outlets and a lot of reports right now are indicating that James Gunn will be fired from DC. I do not know I do not know, obviously, what is going to happen next. We do know, however, that Lanterns is the next DC property that's supposed to come out. I see Lanterns performing better than Peacemaker did, but I do not see it making the same numbers as the Penguin did. The Penguin was getting millions and millions of views each week. this DCU is not resonating with people. It's just not. It's just a fact. It's not. You know, Creature Commandos was barely hitting 300,000 views a week. You know, you lost about 40% of your audience with Peacemaker Season 2, and you have the toys, you know, you have the toys and all that other stuff going on clearance before this stuff even comes out. And as someone who works at the movie theater, all of the Toy Story 5 merchandise is completely sold out where I am at the movie theater. But you know what is still stocked to the brim? The Supergirl popcorn buckets. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. So, either way, you know, we will see what happens. I mean, guys, The Flash had a bigger opening weekend than Supergirl did. The Flash, which lost the studio, I think it was between 155 million to 200 million. The Flash, which got pulled from theaters only a couple weeks after it came out, The Flash had a bigger opening weekend than Supergirl did. That's crazy. That is insane. But, and remember, Warner Brothers is merging with Paramount, and so, you know, anything could happen at this stage. And I do think that James Gunn will be fired from DC. I do think that's a possibility. Whether or not we will see, you know, the Snyderverse finally make a return. Zack Snyder is all over Instagram right now posting, you know, Justice League related content. You know, posting stuff, you know, with Henry Cavill, with Ben Affleck, with Wonder Woman. In fact, he just posted something on Instagram about Wonder Woman yesterday. So, and in fact, just a couple of days ago, he posted a picture of him and Henry Cavill together at a shooting range. I'm telling you right now, guys, this is not a coincidence. Something is going on behind the scenes. It's the same thing, you know, the last time Snyder was doing stuff like this was when, was when the Snyder Cut was gearing up to be announced. Something is definitely going on behind the scenes. But either way, we will see what happens. This merger is expected to go through. From what I've been hearing and from what I've been seeing, this merger is expected to go through. So, and last I heard, the merger could be complete by this month, according to what I heard. But we will see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.